Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shearer and I'm the Spiritual Director and Founding Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta. If you would like to become a member of our center, please connect with me for more information. Today is Saturday, May 22nd, 2021. And we are continuing with our annual theme, which is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And the topic for the month of May is Holy, Holy Uprising. And the topic for this week is Say Their Names. We open each week with a spiritual practice called Affirmative Prayer, which is also known as spiritual mind treatment. And this is a powerful tool and a practical tool that helps to shift our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept all the good that is already present in our life. It aligns our thoughts with all good. So let's move into today's service with intention, as we do each week, with a reading from the Creative Thought magazine. And today I'll be reading from May 19, 2014. And just a reminder that spiritual mind treatment is always done in the first person. So I invite you to close your eyes and take these words as your own, if you so choose. I step to the edge. I know that there is one infinite power for good operating throughout the universe. I know that this loving presence and I are one. It constantly challenges me to step beyond my comfort zone, to realize my full potential as an expression of its love on this physical plane, and to accept my truth that as a child of the infinite, I am entitled to every one of God's qualities and attributes by right of consciousness. Whatever the challenge, I know that life is for me and that the infinite power of good is my source. Because of this, when I reach the edge of my perceived limitations and I leap, I find that I can fly. It is in this knowing that I release this treatment to mind with love, gratitude, and thanksgiving, recognizing that its work is already done, and so it is. And that was submitted by a licensed practitioner, Irvin Wilson, from Sarasota, Florida. So as we do each week as well, let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements together. We have a grand purpose, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. And we do this by means of our vision, which is to educate and support each other so we can create the life we desire that works for us right now. And this is supported by our mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. And at this time, I'd like to truly welcome everyone, including those that are new to our teaching and to our center here in Puerto Vallarta. Whether you're here live on the Zoom call or watching the replay at a later time, please know that everyone is welcome here, and we value each and every one of you. We honor all paths, for all paths lead to the one. And so it doesn't matter which path you have been on, which religion or beliefs that you have or may have had in the past, or what your culture is, your sex, your color, your age, whatever, whoever you are, please know that you are all very welcome here. We teach a philosophy here called the Science of Mind. And it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. And we offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. We've already experienced one with the opening treatment. And as I mentioned, we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. When Dr. Ernest Holmes founded this teaching in the 1920s, he had studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts to create the Science of Mind, which focuses on the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. When asked to provide a concise definition of the Science of Mind teaching, he had replied that it is a correlation of laws of science, opinions of philosophy, and revelations of religion applied to human needs and aspirations. And so each week we do offer a service with an inspirational message. And yes, in the past, we have been doing this in a downtown Puerto Vallarta restaurant where we can enjoy a conversation afterwards, as well as some homestyle Mexican cooking. But we are still required to wear a mask at all times while outside the home. And because it is in a public restaurant, it's a bit of a challenge. So we will continue to record these messages online until such time that we can meet in person. And of course, there will be updates both on this talk each week or the week prior, as well as being posted on our Facebook page and our website page. So look forward to seeing that soon. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can either post them online, wherever it is you are watching, or send me a direct email and I'll be sure to respond. Each week, we have also been offering our evolutionary vision from the Centers for Spiritual Living Global Vision each week. So this week, it is, we envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. And our timeless wisdom from our Science of Mind principles, core concepts, and values for this week is our values: respect, remembrance, reclaiming of our spiritual heritage, cultural, societal, communal, as well as honoring accountability of our interconnectedness. As a leading edge spiritual organization, we are poised with a teaching and tools to help take humanity into a new paradigm of consciousness. We are invited to demonstrate this in our lives, our centers, our communities, and in the greater world. To do so, we must rise up. Many cultures honor the ancestors of those who have traditions. 911, the AIDS era, Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead here in Mexico, are a few examples. Giving ourselves opportunities to remember, reflect, and honor life and God as it has shown itself in each person, which allows their power, their story, and their love to live on in all of us. Today, I'd like to open the discussion with this quote from Thomas Troward. He says, the Bible calls the divine being by a variety of names. But when we have once got the general clue to the sacred name, we shall find that each of them implies all the others, since each suggests some particular aspect of that which is the all-embracing unit, the everlasting one, which cannot be divided, and any one aspect of which, therefore, can convey to the instructed mind the suggestion of all the others. And as we have been saying all along, there is a universal mind, spirit, intelligence, whatever you want to call it, that is the origin of everything. It is first cause, it is God. This universal life and energy finds an outlet in and through all that is energized and through everything that lives. This is the one life back of everything that lives. There's one energy in all that is energized. And this energy is in everything. This one spirit back of all expression. That is the meaning of that mystical saying. In him we live, move, and have our being. And this has been an excerpt from the Science of Mind textbook. And we discussed this last week when we talked about this too is God. Dr. Ernest Holmes said this. The thing then works for us by working through us and is us always. The thing itself, that universal source, supply, divine energy, whatever you choose to call it. So today, let's look at our 3 key points for discussion. Honor and recognition, celebrating early ancestors, and what the world needs now. The Centers for Spiritual Living, as a leading edge teaching, honors and recognizes the contributions of those who have come before, those who have contributed to the teaching. We recognize and celebrate them by teaching about them. And if you would like to have a class on this, please connect with me and we'll determine which class is most appropriate for those that have responded. So please message me any of your interests. And also we recognize and celebrate each of our ancestors by speaking their name into the room and by consciously identifying the interconnection of them to us and us to them. For example, that's the connection of all to the all. To ensure the power of recognition, we also actively seek and speak the names of those who have been less honored over the years, namely the Black, Indigenous, people of color, the LGBTQ2+ individuals, and others whose contributions have also been vital. Dr. Ernest Holmes studied the New Thought teachings of many great healers: Phineas Parker Quimby, Frank Mesmer, Horatio and Julius Dresser, Emily Cady, and the Fillmores, Myrtle and Charles. He was one of the few students of Emma Curtis Hopkins, also known as the teacher of teachers. And he studied many philosophers, such as Plato, Socrates, Meister Eckhart, and of course, Thomas Troward, and Ralph Waldo Emerson, in addition to his studies of Hinduism and Buddhism. In this month's Science of Mind magazine, Reverend Dr. David Alexander says this: we need to remember what New Thought is all about. It's about understanding what consciousness is, what consciousness does, and how to better work with its laws to create more harmony and wholeness. So let's celebrate our early ancestors. This week also affords the powerful opportunity to honor, recognize, celebrate, and bless those who have made their transition. It's an opportunity to speak about the early ancestors and others who have been murdered due to such things as racism, sexism, homophobia, othering, xenophobia, etc. And we do so because we know the powerful feeling that comes from giving space to grieve and mourn as a community. It would take hours to mention all the names of those that have gone before us that should be honored. But let's start with just a few. Last year, over 44 transgender and gender non-conforming people were fatally shot or killed by other violent means in the United States and Puerto Rico. And only 44 are listed because mainly, and sadly, they are unreported and misreported. The majority were Black and Latinx transgender women. And this year, the numbers are on the rise to exceed last year's numbers, with over 20 already reported within the first 5 months. And the numbers worldwide are in the hundreds. So let's honor some of them. Dustin from Oklahoma. Nualisa, Puerto Rico. Yampi, Puerto Rico. Scott, Scotland, Georgia. Monica, North Carolina. Lexi, New York. Joanna, Maryland. Serena, Puerto Rico. Layla, Puerto Rico. Penelope, Puerto Rico. Nina, Missouri. Ellen, Texas. Tony, Florida. Dominique, Pennsylvania. Leah, Ohio. Jane, Colorado. Selena, Illinois. Brian, Ohio. Brayla, Arkansas. Mercy, Texas. Shaki, Louisiana. Bree, Florida. Summer, Washington. Maryland, California. Tiffany, New York. Keisha, Louisiana. Asia, Oregon. Leah, Ohio. Key, Louisiana. Arian, Missouri. Mia, Pennsylvania. Michelle, Puerto Rico. Felicia, Georgia. Brooklyn, Louisiana. Sarah, Indiana. Angel, Tennessee. Skylar, Florida. Uni, Florida. Asia, Texas. Janisha, Virginia. Kimberly, California. Yahim, Alabama. Courtney, Illinois. Alexandria, New York. I'll post these names with their full name, their cities, and their ages on our website so that you can say their names and celebrate and bless them. Most of them are under the age of 33, and most are female or transgender female. We use this opportunity to recommit to being not only an open and welcoming community, but also an inclusive one that honors and celebrates the diversity of God as its individualizations. Ernest Holmes, in what is known as the Beverly Hills Lecture, says this: our movement will depend not on a talk such as I am giving you now. Our evolution, what it will mean to the world, will not depend on the books we write. It will depend on what we do with it. It will depend on someone knowing enough about it to cause something to happen because of what he knows, when he wants it to happen, where he wants it to happen, in the way it ought to happen, according to his own volition, providing that he is not subject to any whimsical caprice. Which leads us to our third point. What does the world need now? Howard Thurman said, don't ask what the world seeks. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So let us ask, what does the world need from Centers for Spiritual Living? And what does my city or state, province need from those of us in this city or state or province? What does the world and the people in it need from me? As someone's answered prayer, who and what am I called to be and do today? It's up to each of us to ask these questions of ourselves and then to do the work that is needed to be done to ensure our future is not our past. We must strive to know better and then do better. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. So what can we do? Well, one thing we can do is research ahead of time of any voting for elected officials in our local communities, cities, regions, province, or state, and nation. Carefully consider if their platform are in alignment with justice and equality for all. Violent crimes of hate have increased year after year, and this is happening all over the world. And it's time we put an end to it. It's long past due. So let's rise up and be more visible and globally recognized as agents of revolutionary healing and change for more love, more peace, and more harmony in this world. Here's a quote from Octavia Butler. All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change. And I see we have a visitor today with us. Mojito has come to join us behind me. So I'd like to close today with this thought. Today, I commit to honoring those upon whose shoulders I stand. And I have many that I can honor and give thanks to. I commit to honoring those who are my ancestors, whether they're my family, my spiritual family, people in my community, or another form of legacy. And this includes those who have been made to be early ancestors. Their names and their lives impacted my life as well and I honor them all. I commit to taking the necessary action in my personal life, my spiritual community, and the community where I live to rise up and demonstrate a new level of presence and create action that ripples out from where I am and what I do. This week here in Puerto Vallarta, it is Pride Week. And so I honor all of those that attend and all that they honor as well. So I'd like to leave you today with this quote from Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers, he says, anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. When we can talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. So if you would like to talk about something, anything, then please connect with me. And as you've already had a glimpse of, let's share today's affirmation. I rise up and lead. I am someone's answered prayer. So now is our time for mindful giving and financial support of our spiritual home. And we rely on your support to continue our center here in Puerto Vallarta, so that we can continue offering this powerful teaching of the science of mind. And we bless all financial gifts that you give today. Let me just post our website again for you all to see. So donations are gratefully received through our PayPal on our website, or if you prefer to send in a check in the mail. Our website again is www.cslpv.org. Or if you would like to send in a check, please address it to CSLPV number 403 2125 Birch Road, Kelowna, BC, V1Y8M1. So now if you would like to join me in our Offertory Affirmations, if you so choose. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So if you would like to have a one-on-one connection for spiritual mind treatment to assist you with change or dealing with your feelings or whatever it is that you require, please connect with me. And if you would like to commit to being a member of the Centers for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta for this current year, or if you would like to be a member on our Board of Trustees, please contact us so that you can be sent the current forms. And let's continue practicing love and peace. We can each be a force for peace and nonviolence. Our words and our actions create ripples of peace all around us and beyond. So may peace and love be with you. Thank you for coming and spending this time together. Peace and blessings to all. Namaste.